Shepherdsville neighborhood is stunned tonight, now looking for the answers to a violent crime they never saw coming. Police say 2 young boys killed by their own mother. Hello, everybody. It's our top story here on the WHAS 11 Night Team. I'm Doug Proffitt. WHAS 11 Night Team's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Addie Hill are in Bullitt County talking to neighbors and investigators tonight.
Just past the Jefferson-Bullitt County line.
You don't expect this, no matter where you live, but here especially.
A community is grappling with the tough loss of 2 young lives. From neighbors who knew them,
Just put yourself in these people's place and think, well, it can happen to anyone. And
to officers who tried to rescue them.
I'll give you the cliche answer first. It's part of the job, but it's the part that you dread. The part that you hope that you go your entire career and never see.
Officers arrived at this home on Bentwood Drive around 11 Wednesday morning, where they rushed 2 young boys just 6 and 9 years old to the hospital.
They were alive and remained so until they got to the hospital.
Police believe this woman, 32-year-old Tiffany Lucas, shot and killed her 2 sons. She's charged with 2 counts of murder. At this time, the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office is not sharing any information on the moments leading up to the shooting or what Lucas's motive may have been. Right now, she remains in custody at the Bullitt County Detention Center.
Whether you think it's mental illness, just pure evil, combination of both, pick your poison. None of it's good. The result is horrific.
It's hard to underscore the deeply somber feeling right now in this area. Neighbors tell us it was just yesterday that they saw the boys playing out front in a yard.
Been living here since 2004.
For this longtime neighbor who asked we don't show his face or share his name. How do you think the neighborhood's reacting? Have you talked with neighbors about this?
I talked to a couple of neighbors, and they're kind of upset that they find out 2 little boys got shot. That's kind of upsetting. Nobody back here wanted to hear about kids getting shot. Nobody wants to hear people getting shot at all.
it was shocking, actually. Nobody ever thinks it's going to happen in your neighborhood.
As a Bentwood Drive house stands empty tonight.
Just love your family and hope nothing like this ever happens to anyone else.
Those mourning the loss are looking past the act of what happened.
Those kids went to schools. Those kids had friends. Those kids had families.
And keeping close to their hearts, the 2 young lives taken too soon. In Shepherdsville, Connor Steffen, the WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
We checked her record tonight, and Lucas has previously been charged with drug offenses, the most recent in 2018 when she pleaded guilty to drug possession. The Bullitt County Sheriff's Office declined to share any more information on Lucas's current state of mind. She is scheduled to be arraigned in court tomorrow. Happening today, former Clark County, Indiana Sheriff Jamie Knoll is now under arrest and booked in the very same jail he used to oversee. Officers arrested Knoll late this afternoon on crimes related to his time as sheriff and outside the sheriff's office. WHAS 11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie are live outside the Clark County Jail now. And Taylor, you got reaction from those in Jeffersonville. What do they have to say about this?
Well, Doug, tonight, Jamie Knoll is being held inside the Clark County Jail, the facility he once operated as Clark County Sheriff. And Clark County residents I spoke to say they're disappointed in Jamie Knoll's actions during his position as Clark County Sheriff. However, they say they're pleased with current Clark County Sheriff Scotty Maples for requesting an investigation. Indiana State Police arrested former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll. He's charged with 15 felonies, including theft, obstruction of justice, ghost employment, and official misconduct. In a news release, Sheriff Scotty Maples says he discovered a wiretap in the office of the former assistant chief, which had been planted during Jamie Knoll's term. We talked with Clark County residents about the arrest of their former sheriff.
It's good that, what he was doing is being looked into and being investigated, but the truth will eventually come out.
Maples says Knoll had ordered several Clark County Sheriff's Office employees to work on Knoll's properties while being paid to work at the Sheriff's Office. In August, Indiana State Police conducted multiple search warrants at a home owned by Knoll.
It's just disappointing.
In a statement, Sheriff Maples also says Knoll allegedly forged documents to get one of his family members, a police officer, a pension that he didn't qualify for.
I feel like, he will make him be held accountable for what he's done. He wants to get to the bottom of it and see what's going on.
Lalisha Murrell and Jeffersonville residents are stunned, saying public officials like Knoll need to be held to a higher standard, but accountable like everyone else.
If we do something or something wrong, you're coming to get us for our bad, but here you are doing all kinds of bad yourself. That's just how I feel at the end of the day.
And tomorrow afternoon, a press conference will be held with Special Prosecutor Richard Hurdle, who will provide an update into the investigation and arrest of former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll. Reporting live in Clark County, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11, Nate Team on your side.
Taylor, thank you. Happening tonight, a woman is dead after what police believe is a domestic incident that happened in Louisville's Okolona neighborhood. Metro Police went to reports of a shooting just after 7 on Greenbridge Way off Jefferson Boulevard down near the outer loop. When officers arrived, they found the woman actually had multiple blunt force injuries. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. An LMPD spokesperson says officers are following leads, but no arrests have been made in this violent incident tonight. Police raced to 2 different schools in Louisville this morning for reports of an active shooter inside, only to find the reports were all false. Louisville Metro Police confirmed the all clear at Manual High School near U of L and Olmsted Academy North in the South End within minutes of those reports. No middle school was also locked down because it is so close to Manual. Louisville wasn't the only place this happened today. Nearly at the same time, schools in Evansville, Lexington, and Cincinnati also reporting similar fake calls. Metro Police Deputy Chief Steve Healy spoke about officers' response today.
Even though we have reports of multiple swatting calls, we're still going to respond in force. And you are going to take away resources. You're going to put people in danger because we're going to respond code 3.
Some parents went to the schools waiting nervously there until they were allowed to pick up their children.
We was on the 3rd floor, so the way that his area is built up, there's a desk. We hid behind his desk. Kids was crying, upset, which makes sense.
That is the worst nightmare to hear. I'm on lockdown, and you know I'm what 15 minutes away maybe, and then you hear, okay, it's a shooter, and then keep going. I'm like, okay, just breathe, calm down. I'm on my way, but then I knew I couldn't get to him at that point.
Police sent a massive force to the schools today, and many of you saw them racing through downtown. Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Louisville was personally impacted by the fake calls, saying his child's school was on a level 4 lockdown today in Louisville. He posted on social media, quote, "My heart stopped. This is not normal. Gun violence is real, as is the fear from a false alarm," end quote. Today in the federal civil rights trial against the former Metro police officer Brett Hankison, the jury was taken to Breonna Taylor's South Louisville apartment. It was a request from Hankison. He wanted the jurors to see what he saw in person the night of the shooting in March of 2020. The defense argues that Hankison had a line of sight through the gaps in the window and fired at the sound of a rifle. However, former SWAT commander Dale Massey took the stand today as saying he assumed the bullet holes in the window came from inside the home. Massey testified he was shocked to see Hankison taking credit for them, noting it's against police training to fire blindly. Mike Nobles, who was there the night of the shooting, testified for the defense today, saying he did not hear any more shots after Miles Cosgrove fired. This contradicts what the prosecution said happened that night. One of the most closely watched Kentucky elections is now over. Kentuckians choosing to keep Andy Beshear as governor for 4 more years by a big margin. Governor Andy Beshear defeating Republican and current Attorney General Daniel Cameron by 6 different points last night. In Frankfort today, Beshear says one of his top priorities is to immediately invest in public education. He believes that's because he is term limited. This will be his last term, and it'll be easier to work with the legislature to boost teacher salaries.
And remember, for many of these legislators, the school system is the largest employer in their region. And that means if we're not paying our educators enough, we're just impoverishing our own communities. I mean, this is our chance to not only pay teachers closer to what they're worth, but to boost the economy in each and every one of these areas.
The governor also said the teacher shortage would improve with a pay raise, noting the impact raises have had on social workers, state troopers, and Kentucky corrections officers. New tonight, after nearly 4 months on strike, Hollywood Actors Union has reached a tentative deal with the major studios. The 3-year contract must be approved by the members in the coming days, but leadership declared the strike will end tomorrow at midnight. The details of the agreement with the actors haven't been released, but issues on the table included pay and royalties, along with control over actors' images and likenesses generated with AI, artificial intelligence.